today is really and I'm recording it so everyone can tune back into this for everyone who did not go to Summit, but really to hear what everyone's takeaways were from Summit, right? We've got a lot of people who it was their first Summit, a lot of people where it was their second, third. So everyone's going to have a little bit of something different as a takeaway, and we can all, kind of pick something up from someone who maybe, even if we were there, maybe that just wasn't something that stuck, but maybe it'll stick now, right? So I hope you guys have your takeaways that I called you out on. So I'm just going to go down the list, my list of participants here. So if that's cool, that way we've got people. So I'm calling you out. You good? All right, good. Sylvia, you're nodding your head. That's good because you're first. Huh?
Oh, no.
You got your, there you go.
So the first takeaway was to be a little bit more bold about my actual invites and to actually invite, not be scared and pick and choose who gets invited and whatnot. And then another takeaway was just to, I don't know really how to say it, like just be more confident in myself and that this is a product that I do believe in, and to show that and show more of my personal journey. So
right, because it's all about your story, right? It's our stories, not the next person's, right?
Hello.
Yeah. So Sylvia, how long have you been a coach?
2 months.
Oh, so you're like brand new.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is good. So it
was really scary.
Yeah, but so Summit is really geared towards a lot of coaches who aren't at Diamond yet, essentially, right? I think that's what the best thing to say is. And so for you to be able to go and plug into everything is fantastic, right? So I'm sure it probably was overwhelming to a sense, but really opened your eyes to what the potential is, right?
Yeah, and it's definitely helped my business a lot. Like more people, because I've been posting the whole time in Summit, are more interested in asking more questions, and I feel like I can answer them more easily now.
Perfect. So good. Yeah. You're on the up then. All right, Alexa, you're up, sister. I unmuted you.
Can y'all hear all that noise? Okay, guys, I'm on a call. Okay, so I felt like my takeaway was when we went to the Power of I Am, and she pretty much was just saying like, don't be a bitch, hit send, and like that really resonated with me because like I'm always afraid of inviting people and I'm not sure why. I don't know, like I have a hard time inviting people, and that really helped me, especially during Power Hour. I'm like, in my head, I just say that over and over and over, like just freaking hit send. Like, don't worry about it. Give them that opportunity, just do it. And then what also helped me was I think I was doing too much of like Energize or Shakeology, and so that's helped me because I was having a hard time hitting Success Club, and I sold 2 today. So obviously my curiosity marketing posts are working. Addison, I'm on a call. Can you wait? Thanks. So other than that, that was my takeaway.
I think we're gonna run into this inviting thing a lot, on how everyone is here to invite and they overcame something at Summit, right? And I'll share something with you guys later, but thanks, Alexa. Allie, you're up.
All right. So mine was definitely like everything that Shalene said, that whole curiosity marketing thing. Even from the very first one I did, the first day we got back, I already had a question straight away. The questions versus likes thing, huge. And then what Brendan Burchard talked about, a lot of his points, like his must-dos for motivation and success, the I must no longer fear rejection, because I feel like that's my biggest thing with sending messages is the fear of rejection. So just to jump in and face your fear straight away. Got to work on that.
I dig it. And like you nailed it. Like we're going to be rejected so many times, you guys, way more times than people are going to say yes. And you can't let that just hang over you. You've got to be okay with people saying no. And I remember what Dara told me from day one was always like, it's not no, it's not right now. And you better believe that all these people who've said no to me, like, sure, 2-3 years later, they're all coming back and they're signing up now, right? So like when people say like my warm market is dead already, like I'm 4 years in and I still have people from my warm market coming to me, right? And who said no before, but they're saying yes now because, the consistency, right? So I totally get it, Allie. Totally get it. All right, Becky, you're up.
Oh, you unmuted me. Okay. I took 2 things, and I've kind of been working on that since I got home. One, working more closely with my challengers. The one guy said that he does weekly Zoom calls with the challengers, and that kind of was like, what? Like, I think that's a great idea because I can message them every week, but they may not even message me back, and then they kind of just lose track. They kind of just fall off the map. And that really pisses me off. For me, not that they fall off, just that I let that happen. So that I think is a big deal. I'm trying to get more connected with my challengers. And as far as inviting and talking to people, I think it was Christina Delgado said, be their lifeline. Tell them how they're going to feel. You have to emphasize the similarities between you so they feel like you're a friend, and then you invite them.
So did you do a Zoom call with your challengers yet?
Not yet.
Do you have one scheduled?
No. I know. I know.
I 100% believe you should because I started my last group with a Zoom call. It is self-sufficient. I have my scheduled posts, and these people are running this group amazing. And there's probably 8 people who I've had the coach conversation with, and now is the time when they're all switching over because it's like a week and a half, almost at that 2-week mark where they're like, well, I can do this. Like, so these are all new coaches that I'm rolling in right now. And it was because of this Zoom call, because everyone got to see each other. So they already connected, and
I think it would be just a matter of getting them all on the same time and actually getting them on the computer. And
you just got to do it. You've got to set a time. Like we did a Sunday night. We set the time, and not everyone was on. I had 5 people on. But again, if they are setting the tone, everyone else, right, joins in to do that. And we did. And then we talked about like, why did you join? What are you looking forward to the most to come out of this? And what do you think your biggest struggle is going to be, right? So then people are connected and they're able to comment, like as the group goes on. I highly suggest you guys do that. Give it a go. Maybe with the Shift Shop group, maybe get your people who are getting ready and do a Zoom call Sunday night.
Yeah, I think that's a good time too. And I've been going live, actually. I've been trying to go live in there every day. And I think that's a good idea. Just let them, just talk to them one-on-one live every single day.
I do. I think that is great. Brilliant. All right, cool. Cool. Let's go. Candace. I already unmuted you.
Mine is just invite, like not being scared to invite and being rejected, and just like being consistent with the whole funnel system, like just keeping track of it. And because like every time I would get off of it, and then get back on, like those 2 to 3 days that like, I don't know what just happened. Okay. Like the 2 to 3 days that I would consistently follow up and invite and connect with all of the people that I had added, like I had more engagement from them later on.
Okay, so the funnel system, is that something that you use?
Kind of. It's hard to keep up with, but yeah.
Okay. So being a first-time summit goer, do you think it was worth it? And especially for you where you were like at the end where they're like, I feel like I really have to go. Was it something you think you made the right decision?
For sure. For sure.
Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Let's go, Dana. So Dana, this is your third summit, right? So Dana is gonna maybe have a couple real good takeaways. No pressure.
I'm taking away from the leadership session that we went to, that only a few of us went to. So there were some good messages in there that I thought that the team could benefit from, especially considering some recent events. Lindsay Matway spoke very passionately about some of what's going on in our industry with regards to other MLMs that we see as our competition, or people within our MLMs that have chosen a different path and have left us, and whatever the case may be. And she said, be the victor, not the victim. And I thought that was really important, because I think a lot of us are allowing ourselves to be victimized by the fact that certain people that we've cared about or we've seen as a teammate may have left, or things that they're posting. And it's getting in our head, and it's distracting us from why we ourselves got into this and what we need to accomplish in terms of helping others. She said, be proactive, not reactive. And she compared it to like the water cooler, where you can sit around and talk about issues, or you can be solution-based, have a solution-based mindset and figure out what are you going to do now. And that was really important. And then she said, you know, if you record yourself, if you were to, how'd she say this? If you were to record yourself, like I think it's pretty easy to feel very defeated when someone that you've invested a lot of time in has left the business, or you've seen a friend that you've invested a lot of time into in this business walk away. And it can be self-defeating for you, and questioning yourself and doubting yourself and wondering if you can go on. And I've now had this happen to me a couple times. She said, if you were to record the way that you would talk to yourself in those instances and play it back out loud for your coaches, what would be the energy that you would leave them with? Because likely they are already feeling it. Whether or not those words are coming out of your mouth, they're already feeling it. And I can take onus on my own. I can say that for myself, since I've had this happen to me a couple times this year. My team has suffered as a result because of the way it's played out in my mind. So just a couple things to take away, because I don't think this will be the last time we see people leave our team. And I think it's just something that, you know, stood out for me.
So Dana, what about when Lindsay, so for those of you guys who don't know, Lindsay Matway is, I mean, she's a top coach. She was the first female top coach. She's been in the top 10 for like the past 6 years or something crazy. So she made everyone stand up. She's like, how many people have lost one diamond? Okay. How many people have lost 2, 3, 4? She kept going up and up. 15, 20. She goes to 67. She's lost 67 lifetime diamonds, right? So Lindsay really spoke about like she called it the elephant in the room, right? So last year, it's no secret that the business was on, not so much but it was lower than the year before, which was on a huge rise, right? For any business, you have the ebbs and flows, right? The ups and downs. We went down, we got to go back up, right? And she spoke about that and spoke about this loss of diamonds, right? So Dana, what was your takeaway from that? Like, how did that make you feel when you heard Lindsay talk about that? Because I know you've lost diamonds. I've lost diamonds, right? So did that make you feel like you weren't alone in this?
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. And so I sat down at 8. I've lost 8 diamonds. And I sat down at 8, and then I was standing next to Dara, who obviously is your upline. And she had a number that was higher than mine. And I was standing next to you and Mandy, and we've all been there. So, and then of course, Lindsay made it comical when she was like, anybody 67, anybody. But I mean, to see the way in which, and to hear about, and I've heard rumors about how her team has been really decimated by one of the more recent, newer MLMs. Like, it gives you an opportunity to connect, but then at the same time know that your situation isn't as bad as it could be, and there's always room to grow. She's able to stand up there and still provide inspiration to coaches that are in the business that are feeling the same heat to a greater magnitude than that. I mean, that was inspiring for me.
Right. And so the one way I look at it is that we can't choose. I know there's some great quote that goes with it, but like, we don't necessarily choose what happens to us, but we can choose how we react to it. Right. So we can either sit here and be a victim and complain about our team and how our team doesn't do something, or how our coaches don't do whatever. And that's usually a big thing when coaches leave. They're like, well, my team didn't do anything. Right. And it really has to come back on a self-reflection for us and say, how are you leading? And if you don't like how things are going, then, you do more on your business, right? It's not the only person we have to blame is ourselves, right? If we don't handle the situation properly, right? All right, cool. Thanks, Dana.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go, Jen Jones.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, some of my big ones have been covered, so I don't need to repeat them. But along with that, not just the inviting, was there was a graphic that went up, and I don't remember, I have the graphic, who put it up. It was about, you have to talk to 30 people a day, right? But the graphic that went up broke it down, and it's kind of like what the power hour is. So you want to have 30 conversations a day, but we're not saying that all those conversations have to be centered around the inviting, right? 5 of those conversations are just people you want to connect with, right? 5 of those conversations are current challengers. 5 of those conversations are people you are following up with. 5 of those, you know what I mean? And so at that moment, like, I've heard it, but for whatever reason, that was an aha that took the whole daunting frog, away from me. It dissected my frog, so to speak, right? And so now they're like little tadpoles. So I think that, and I started, doing that a little bit more, you know what I mean? It's just talking to people, right? And so it's also helping me, that's helped me use my Teamsy better too, because I was given that one more month of paying for that to see what, what's going to happen. So that was one of my real big takeaways. And then my other big takeaway was just about putting other people first. And this also came out of the Power of I Am. Is that, obviously I'm in this for myself, in that the whole health and fitness lifestyle has completely changed, transformed, and saved my life. Like, I could never stop doing this, even if they all of a sudden said, we're not paying you anymore. I just, you know what I mean? So there's that. But when I'm talking to people, when I'm posting in my group, when I'm posting on Facebook, am I focused on me or am I focused on them? Because when I'm focused on them, that's when the interaction happens. That's when we get to know each other, right? So, and especially just when talking to people, you don't have to lead with, oh, right, I have this group coming, right? You don't necessarily have to lead with that. And it's helping me figure out how to actually genuinely start a conversation, is by focusing on them. I'm not having that conversation because of what I want. I'm having that conversation because of something I think that they are looking for. And so that was my second really big takeaway.
I think that makes a really good point. And I've heard this before. If you don't like people, you're not going to do well in this business, right? So you have to put other people first and not lead with yourself, like you said. And when, Jen, let me ask you this. When is the time when we lead with ourselves the most? Think of the time, a specific time, maybe in the month or when we're at
it's the end of the month when we're trying to crush that success club, right? Because the rest of that time, we weren't really, we were just sort of going through the motions. I think if you start, I don't think, listen, I've been there. I most of the time earn my success club at 11:47 p.m. on the last day of the month, okay? I hardly ever get to actually see it show up in my back office, okay? So, but the thing is that I'm already making like these connections with people just since we got back from Summit, where I'm literally, I understand now when like Andy Potler, and she couldn't be on tonight, is like, I'm in the middle of a conversation. I'm like, it's been 3 days. She's like, I know, I'm talking to them about their stuff. And then wham, she's like at SC12. So, and it's not because she was focused on the challenge hack. She's focused on solving problems for them. And so we know that our tools are the problem solvers. So it's right. And so there's a relief about it, that sense of urgency. People can tell when your message is, oh my God, I need this for myself.
Right. You don't want to be that desperation at the end of the month, right? Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, Jen. Thanks. Those were good. Kim, you're up.
Okay. Mine is, well, it's a first summit, and then Kevin's sitting right here, you can hear me. He's working. But I mean, he's been supportive the whole time, but I think bringing him just made it more, I don't know, to see what it's all about. And he used to do, if you're interested stuff, he knocked that crap out as soon as we got home. And he's actually wanting to work the business and seeing what's possible that with both of us working the business, what we could do. And I really liked Shailene's seminar too. I love Shailene. Just asking more questions and just changing how I'm posting.
No, I think you nailed it. I think for you, it was really good to bring Kevin and
yeah, that was like
that. And Shailene said you need to have more sex.
Get after it.
I got that message.
Probably the only thing you got.
Oh my gosh.
So that was Kevin's takeaway. Beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Oh, man.
Let's see. Kim, our other Kim.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, everybody said everything I had on my paper.
Oh man. What was which one was most important for you? Well, how long have you been a coach?
Year and 5 months.
Okay. So
yes. But the most important thing for me was I have this big fear about friending people. I don't like just going on other people's pages and go, here, I'm just going to friend you. I'm going to friend. I don't know them. So that's my biggest fear. But I went ahead, I bid it and I went it and I went and did, and people are actually responding back to me. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can do this. So I did it. So yeah, just the fear.
Why are you afraid?
Why? Because I don't know them.
So are these people that you, like random people, or looking at like friends of a friend or
friend
what?
of a friend? Yeah.
So okay, so you're afraid that because they don't know you, what are you afraid that they're just not going to accept your friend request, or just afraid they're going to message you and say, who are you, or what?
No, they're going to ignore me, and then I'd be like, really? No, I just don't do it. But no, I passed that. I just friend. So no, I got that.
friend machine and you get all those people. And if they don't
Yes.
message you back, fine. Move on, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
At the end of the week, delete your friend requests and then move on to new people.
Yes. And then I also, the biggest thing for me was, why am I here and why am I doing all of this? It's just not for me. It's also for other people, because there are a lot of us out there who need a lot of help.
You're right. And that's good. So once you realize like your bigger purpose, right, and not just you, that makes
Yes.
a world of a difference.
So, yes.
I like it.
Thank you.
Let's see, Natasha.
Okay, so a lot of mine was Shalene too, but I did have one from Darren Hardy where he says that success is earned one step at a time, and that what separates us from where we're at today to where we want to be is our daily choices. So that really got in my head, because I can choose to actually go ahead and get over my fear and message someone, or not do it. But if I don't do the message, then I'm not going to go any further. I'm not going to get any further ahead than where I'm at. So that stuck with me, was it's all dependent on what I choose on a daily basis.
Yeah, so Darren's talk was all about based on the compound effect, right? So hopefully everyone's read that compound effect. And so Natasha, like you said, it's those choices every day, right? So for you personally, what are those small choices every day that maybe you like overlooked before and have changed since you've been back?
I've definitely changed adding friends. I've been adding friends, like so many friends every day since we got back, because I used to have the same fear that Kim just mentioned. Well, mine wasn't that they wouldn't respond. Mine was that they would respond and say, how do I know you? That was, I didn't want someone to say, I don't know you. Why are you asking for me? That was my thing. But now I just do it, and I'm like, either they accept and that's fine, and they'll see my posts and I can click on their page and click on a few things so that they'll see more of me. Or if they do message me back, then I'll just have to say, well, I really don't, but I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like I'll come up with something, or I won't answer, but either way I've tried, like, you know what I mean? So it's that. And then actually messaging people and inviting more people as well. I've been afraid to message certain, like, you know, I only message people if I knew that they were like liking things, or like, you know what I mean? But just sending out a lot more messages than I had been doing.
That's perfect. So that really helped then, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect, because you've got that diamond goal.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah.
You
so,
can't do that without adding people or talking to people. Yeah.
Perfect. So now we're aligning everything, right?
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful. All right, cool. Thanks, Natasha. Let's do Vanessa.
All right. So I have been a coach. I'm just approaching in 2.5 weeks. I'll be hitting my 3-year mark since the first time I signed up. I'm not counting the 6 months off because we all take breaks here and there. So I've been like discounting it for a while. But so for me coming in, it wasn't about hearing, you know, the rah rah shish kumbah stuff. Like I needed meat. I needed tactile things that I could go and turn to my business and be like, all right, I'm going back with XYZ, and these are the exact things I'm going to do. So one of the things that I took was from, I think it was Janelle. It was a pre-summit thing that we had paid extra to do, like a separate thing, but it was top coaches. And she was talking about when you are looking at your business like it's worth $1,000, like $100,000 you just invest into it. Like, you know, obviously like $140 is a lot, but imagine adding another zero to that. Like really look at this like a real investment, not just something you're going to try and like see how you do. And when you do that, one of the suggestions she said for reaching out to people is look at like big brands that you follow. Look at Lululemon, look at I don't know, something else, Nikes, or like something kind of like related to your likes and not necessarily fitness related, but something that you connect to and others that you're trying to reach out to have in common. And in doing so, go to their posts and see who is posting there and who is active on social media and commenting based on the brand itself and their connection to it. Because if they're able to connect to something in physical like that, like, I mean, that's not a person, you know, these are tangible objects, but they love these things a lot. What's to say they're not going to be able to fall in love with the things we have and the extras that we have with the community and, you know, all our challenge groups and how we connect with other people. So go to those people, strike up conversations in those news feeds, and then have that as your end to kind of like talk to people versus like randomly picking somebody that has like a mutual friend. Because I've done that for years, and it really, for me, doesn't work all that great. So with doing that, like my focus is more trying it on Instagram versus Facebook. Because, you know, on my Facebook, I post a lot of stuff that's just like family related. And now that's fine, but like my goal with Facebook sharing is just different than Instagram. Like I'm doing it more for my family that's not local and they want to follow along with our family. And I don't necessarily want my potential coaches or need my potential coaches to know that we're potty training, and it's hard and I'm having a hard time, you know. Although those things are ways to connect with other people, that's just not my focus right now. So by finding the people that have other connections and are already on social media, then I'm not going to have to wait weeks or days for them to see if they're popping back on and happen to notice me coming up in the algorithm or whatever. We can have it back and forth on our own. And then another thing that I picked up on was, so like when they do accept your friend requests or they do start to follow you on social, like what next? Like what do I do? You know? And one of the people said, one of the things that she said, like every single time somebody new connected with her was, what made you feel compelled to reach, or what made you feel compelled to reach out to me? I can't wait to hear your story. So turn it back on them. Ask them about them, because one thing people like to do is talk about themselves. I don't care who you are. Everybody loves to talk about, oh, I got my hair done. Like, oh, this place, I love it. Oh, I got these new shoes, this place. Oh, my kid's adorable, and I love that this is happening. Or, oh my God, back to school shopping's killing me, but I picked up these awesome deals somewhere. Like, get them talking, and that will build the connection on something totally separate than what you're trying to sell them on. Like obviously we want to help people, and in doing so we have to sell them something, but sell them on the friendship first, sell them on the connection emotionally, because that's really what people gravitate towards too when they need something and they don't necessarily know that they need this. Like when I found Beachbody, I didn't know I needed this community. Like I didn't really know what I was looking for until I found it. So those are my takeaways.
So have you started doing that since you've been home?
Yes, in conversations, yeah. I started like the conversation. I mean, it's been so hard. I was like so, not sick, but my throat was like so bad the days after, and I was exhausted beyond belief. But it was worth every minute of sleep I didn't get this past week. And it was so much fun connecting with all y'all. Because like, you know me, I'm never on a team call. Lord help me if I need a big old pat on the back just for showing up, because I always forget. And like 3 years in, I know every Thursday at 9 or 9:30, there's going to be a team call somewhere. But for the life of me, I can never remember. So even me being here is a testament on how Beachbody and the connections I built with y'all are, because I miss you already. And I just barely like met you, but I'm happy to see your faces. I see Kim laughing at me. I have like the picture of everybody up, so I can see all you guys, all y'all ladies smiling, and I can hear Kevin in the background. I can't hear you. You have to unmute yourself. Oh, there he is. And I was totally waiting for that Shalene comment for him. As soon as you said Shalene, I'm like, all right, it's coming. But yeah, so I mean, if anyone didn't go to Summit, and I've tried to go to Summit every year, I'm so glad I bought my super cheap ass ticket and like forced myself to go, and found a way to go, because like I said, I haven't been working my business, so it's not like my business supported this effort, but it was worth it, and it was definitely helped to fuel the fire and like got me drinking the Kool-Aid 100% again. Any other questions?
No, that's good. I really do. And Vanessa, you know how I feel. I feel if you really like dug into this and did it, you would be amazing. But you just gotta find.
Gotta do it. Oh yeah, one of the other things I took away was your habits define your future. And my habits have not been defining it as far as Beachbody has. I mean, we all look at this and like, oh wow, that'd be so cool to like have this many stars or be a top coach or have all these people. But if you don't act like you already are that coach, you'll never be that coach.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. All right, cool. Is that everybody? I think everyone who was at Summit, right? Yeah. Okay, so here's my couple takeaways, and I'm gonna go back with Dana here. This is from the leadership event, and I mean, for those of you guys who plan on going next year and in the future, I would highly recommend shooting for 2-star so you can go to this leadership just to get to that, because I think just the leadership workshop was worth Summit alone. And this was the first year they did it, and I'm so glad because we really got a lot of good stuff out of it. And so Brendan Bouchard was one of the speakers at that, and he talked about high performers, right? What makes people high performers? What makes them different than the average person, right? And a couple key points that he said was like, achievement isn't your problem, alignment is. So is everything aligned to achieve your goal? And so with that, again, so like with what Vanessa said, like what habits are you doing, right? Like what's working, what's not working. And he gave us 3 qualities of high performers, right? So why do some individuals and teams succeed more quickly than we do, right? And these were the 3 points leading into it. Full engagement, joy, and confidence. And confidence, he said, comes from competence. So over and over and over, right? And all 3 of those things have to be aligned, and they have to be aligned the entire time, right? We can't be fully engaged and have joy, but then not be confident, right? And expect us to move our business forward at the rate that we want it to. And then let's say we get confident, but then we lose our joy in it, right? And we're still tilted. Or we have joy and we have confidence, but we're not fully engaged, right? So if all 3 of those things aren't matched up to their full potential, we're not going to be a high performer, right? And I know when I heard that and I looked at myself, confidence was the one that maybe was my lacking point, if you will. And because when I think about being fully engaged, like, yeah, I'm fully engaged. Like I live and breathe this shit, right? Like I am beach body, bleeding blue, whatever you want to call it, all day, every day, right? Like this is my life, right? Like, so, I mean, I had that one in like joy, right? Like I love this, I love not being able to go to work, right? Because that would be the kicker for me. So I know I've got like the joy down, but then I also know sometimes I lose the joy because I become too stressed about it, right? And so then he talked about, he said from a study, he learned that more successful people are less stressed than their peers. So, right, we think like, well, if I'm really successful and I become a 15-star, I'm going to be so stressed out because I'm so stressed right now, right? So I can't imagine what they're like. But really, they're less stressed because of how everything is aligned for them and how basically the systems that they have, right? That it's taken care of. And so I feel like that was really my biggest takeaway from that, is like to be a high performer, those 3 things have to be fully engaged, right? And so that's kind of what I've been trying to work on for me. Okay, so flip switch now to, if you were not at Summit, Chalene Johnson did a social media talk, because she is like a guru of social media, and her talk was about curiosity marketing, right? I'm going to post, that video is up so everyone can see that. I'm going to post it on the team page so you guys can go and watch it and kind of see what it's like. I'm not going to, Becky, what are you doing? Are you watching it right now? You're not talking? Oh.
Awesome for new coaches, because they have that, like, we've been doing it for a year. People know what we're doing. So if we say, oh, we're trying this new program, they knew what it's from. But new coaches, it's like perfect.
It is. you're right. You're right. Actually, like new coaches, it's going to be huge for them.
Huge.
So I will post the link to that because I'm not going to go through and talk about everything that Shalene, what she said, but basically she's talking about not giving exactly what it means, right? Curiosity. Have your peers be curious about what you're doing. And so I even tried to do that today in my live video when I said I was starting a new program next week. It was a HIIT, high intensity interval training type of program. We're going to ramp up every week. I never said Shift Shop, right? But, obviously everyone who was listening who knew that that's what it was, but I never said it. And so from Shalene's talk, I made myself like this reminder. All right. I've got my little notes in my reminder that is by my computer. So it's reminders to self on what to post on Facebook, right? So I'm really trying not to use these words, right? Coach, Summit, Beachbody, Shift Shop, or any other program you're doing, Shakeology, and Energize, right? Because those are all brand name things, right? So anyone can look up Beachbody. Anyone can go look up Energize. Anyone can go look up Shakeology, right? So I'm trying not to actually put those in my posts. And then also, and this is primarily on Facebook, like my Instagram stories obviously has everything, like I show my Shakeology packet and all that stuff, but this is mainly my Facebook stuff. And also no pictures of anything that says Shift Shop on it, no stock photos, of course, which we shouldn't do anyways, and really no Beachbody pictures, right? And so in my head, I'm already thinking like, okay, so I'm not gonna lie, like Shift Shop is coming out Monday, right? Or not, it's already out, but we're starting our challenge group. Some of you may have already started one. I'm going with the flow for Monday, right? I haven't had new people sign up to do Shift Shop. I haven't, right? And well, I haven't done it. I have nothing to say towards it. And so I'm sitting here thinking like, how am I going to leverage Shift Shop using the curiosity marketing, right? So it's obviously posting the videos every single day. Not saying Shift Shop in my post, but having the markers, holding the markers. And you better believe people are going to want to be curious when they see markers in my hand or if they see the markers on the ground, because this is something totally different than what Beachbody has had before, right? We actually have these little tools to use. And posting results photos, but never saying what program it is so people can ask, right? And again, I'm obviously not a pro at this because I was all in that, she tricked me when she's going through her talk and she's talking about the attraction marketing, my hand's all the way up here. I'm like, I got this. Like, I don't need to be in this talk, Shalene. And then she's like, well, that doesn't work anymore. And I'm like, oh, all right, fair enough. So this whole curiosity thing, right? It's pushing me out of my comfort zone because my posts are changing, trying to, and it's hard, right? So you have to try putting a little bit more thought into your posts. I haven't really gone through and looked at other people's. So if you guys have good ones, then, you can share them and just give them as examples for people so they can see. But have any of you guys tried doing it? Have you consciously tried doing some good posts? Becky, you're shaking your head. What did you do?
Well, actually, I have a question first. Are you hashtagging? How Mandy was doing the whole Mandy makes a shift thing? Are you hashtagging with the shift, or are you just going to leave that alone too?
I'm not hashtagging because no one's going to look. Mandy's hashtags are funny. They're funny, right? People, I think that, and I don't really know, right? I don't know about hashtags. Vanessa, you may be a better person for this, but no one's going to search Mandy makes a shift, right? Or Mandy shifted. I think they're just hashtags that are you know what I mean? When someone puts a funny hashtag down, people just laugh at it.
Right.
When it comes to hashtags, you want to pick hashtags that aren't millions of hashtags already done. So you want to talk about thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands at most, stuff that's popular enough that people are going to search it, but also not so overran that you won't pop up in the top 6 or top 9 when you're doing Instagram.
But will that then take out the curiosity of what I'm doing?
Well, I mean, whenever, so for instance, when you hashtag, you want a minimum of 15 to 20 hashtags to like really grasp a different people that are into different things, that are curious about different stuff. You can have your own branded hashtags. So as people start to follow you, like, oh, what's this? And that's where the Mandy hashtag thing would come in. But the main purpose of hashtags is so people can find you. So if it's too unique, they're not going to find you by that one hashtag.
And that's on Instagram. Like, you're not putting 15 to 20 on Facebook, right?
Absolutely not. I'm doing like 6, but I might be wrong on that one. I'm newer to hashtagging on Facebook.
No, I usually do like the funny ones, that of course people aren't going to look at, they're just funny. But I thought, with the shift, since we're trying to be like, leave it to curiosity, if we make the shift, will they really?
Well, they won't know it's called Shift Shop, right? You're just making a shift, right?
Right. Okay.
I would do it. Did you come up with a funny one or a good one?
Yeah, Becky makes the shift.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's original.
I hear. All right. Oh, cranky. All right.
I did do your question, Katie, your question about like, has anybody done a curiosity one? When we did our super workout, I originally posted it with saying Beachbody and Summit and all this stuff. And I went back and I deleted just the keywords that were indicating what it is. Because I know with, there's a couple, oh damn, what are these? There's these 2 fitness girls that are on Instagram. And it's like, what the heck is their thing? I'm having a loss of words at the moment. But I always see like these groups. I'm like, what's with this like big group of women? Like, is there another MLM out there that I don't know about? Like, what the heck? Because I'm all over Instagram and checking out People Fitness because of my other business. And they got me curious. And I forget what it is now. I finally figured out what it was. But so for me, I'm like, all right, I'm going to post all of us working out so somebody else can come across it and be like, what are they doing? What's this? Like, I didn't hear about that. Well, like, I want to know. Like, fill me in. So think about that whenever so that's for me at least. This is what I'm trying to do when I think about when I do post stuff. Like Katie said, post your shake so they can see it, because I'm really bad at using this one particular tumbler because it's pink and I really like it. But you need to like see the stuff that you're promoting minus the branded label attached to it. So they will become curious and like, what is that? And another really thing when it comes to shakes that is really popular on Instagram is making your shake and adding all the junk around it on top of it so it's floating. It's like a smoothie bowl, and taking really pretty pictures, because people, anytime I post, like cross post or repost somebody else's on my Fit page, people like are really like liking it and commenting and stuff like that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be your post, but if it's stuff like similar or related to that draws people in, then they'll start like, stalking your feed and seeing what else you got going on.
And I did actually do 2 of those posts today. So I wasn't just chiming in about the hashtag. My workout one today, I didn't say anything about what workout I was doing or anything like that. Just a picture. And I had Energize in the picture, but I didn't say anything about Energize. And then I did post a workout video as well without saying anything about Beachbody or my workout or, whatever.
This is where it becomes like where we really have to get creative with our pictures and being good photographers, right? Where we're doing something, but the cup is in the background, the Energize is in the background or strategically placed somewhere, right? And, and maybe that's it. I don't, my morning post used to be like, bam, Energize in your face. And I'm like, maybe we'll take that out a little bit, so I don't know. I know I see people on Instagram that I follow, coaches that I like, that I follow. I like their brand. And I always see these great pictures, and every picture looks like a goddamn professional picture. I'm like, wow, like they get professional pictures done all the time. And I mean, I'm sure it's not. It's just they really have figured out how to set up their camera, the angles, the lighting, the filters, everything, right? And it really is a big deal. If your pictures look like garbage, that's not going to help, right? Vanessa, you're a little Instagram person. You agree?
Yeah, I forget who it was. One of the speakers was telling us some of the apps to try out. And like one of them I already used. It's like this filter app. It's called VSCO. I think it's like white. And I'm like, of course, my daughter's my phone right now, but it's like white and has like these spikes that go around all the way, like a whole circle. Stick almost like a sun, but I don't know how to describe it. Or a lens, like if you think about like I know. Think about like the lens on like a high resolution camera or something like that, or your lens of your eye or whatever. That's what the picture looks, the icon itself. And I use that to adjust my filters. So even though, I mean, look at this lighting. It is so yellow. I post pictures in here. I take pictures in here all the time. And I play with the filter so it lightens it up. It makes it like airy. So it like, my skin helps like smooth it out a little bit if I got little pimples going on. I mean, it's not like airbrush. Like airbrush is another really good one that one of the girls showed me about. And she's sitting there and she's like wiping my face. And like all the blemishes go away. It looks like I have makeup, and I never wear it. I only put makeup on Thursdays when I take my belly picture, and that is it. So, I mean, makeup's expensive. I'm not going to be putting it on every day to take a few pictures. So use your apps. So those are two. Okay, there's a million out there. If you don't know those two yet, try those two out. Play with them. If it doesn't work, try something else. Like this is all trial and error. Like all of us here are not pros at this stuff. We're all learning. So if we learn together and we find stuff that works, we share it with each other, and hopefully we all will advance.
Can you share those apps in the team page? Can you like screenshot your screen? You're laughing.
Yes, when I find my phone, I'll send those in the team page.
Perfect. All right, cool. So I'll post that video so you guys can kind of see, for those who weren't there, about the curiosity marketing. Because I mean, she's got a point. Like, it was all about how everyone, Facebook, Instagram, it's all saturated, right? So you've got to find a way to stand out, and like making people curious is going to be the key. So that's that. Housekeeping things. If you don't, so for Summit next year, hotels are open, right? Today was the first day that everyone could register. Yes? Heads nodding. So if you did not snag up a hotel and you already have a ticket, snag a hotel so you make sure you have one. So like Alicia, you have a ticket, right? Did you look for hotels yet? Did you get a hotel? Okay, we just looked. You didn't look.
And also, don't forget the price goes up in like, what, 3 days or something?
For the ticket?
Yeah.
Oh, the Summit ticket. Good one. Yeah. All right, so remember, Summit ticket, if you want to go, it's still $145. I think it goes up to $199 then, right? And then hotel. Dana, did you get your hotel? I unmuted you.
We have Andy and I are at the Hampton Inn. We have several people at the Crown Plaza, which I believe is now sold out. Hampton Inn and both of our hotels are now sold out. We have some at the Marriott, the Hyatt. We had a team thread today. So everybody should have a hotel room right now on my team that's going, or most of us, I think.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot right there. So I think everyone should be good, and they're close, not like New Orleans, how they were kind of all over.
I went on even before it opened up and just went on Marriott and reserved a room. I'm going to worry about seeing about getting the discount later. Because I wanted a room. And I didn't want to walk a million miles next year. But I haven't even bought my ticket yet. So, Becky, thank you for reminding us about the ticket price going up. And they did said the difference between last year and this year is the super cheap ticket is transferable. So if you want to invest in $145 and you're not sure if you're going to be able to make it or not, you can transfer it to somebody else. And cancellation is through the very last day of December this year. So you can still get a refund. Otherwise, you can transfer it later to somebody else.
You guys, we are so lucky to have our own little FAQ. You know that? We are so lucky that she's with us. It's perfect. All right, I'm done. 1 minute. 1 minute till 10:30. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys, and we'll see you next week. Yeah? All right, cheers. Bye, guys.